Hi, welcome to my EDUC3625 Numeracy and ICT Statistical investigation. This video will demonstrate the process of my investigation and how I found an answer to my question. My question is, do boys and girls in Year 7 have bigger feet than boys and girls in Year 5? And do boys have bigger feet than girls? I expect to find that students in Year 7 will have significantly bigger feet than students in Year 5, and the results will be consistent for both boys and girls. I also expect to find that boys will have bigger feet than girls in both year levels. I asked for a random sample of 100 students of both boys and girls in Year levels 5 and 7 from the 2014 census of school data. It is important to note that only the right foot of each student was measured, and it was measured to the nearest centimetre. The next step was to sort and clean the data using Excel. I sorted the data by using the sort function in Excel, and I cleaned the data by eliminating any obvious errors, called outliers, which made the data easier to interpret and create graphs. The next step was to create stem and leaf plots. Stem and leaf plots are excellent ways to display continuous data while retaining the original values of this data. They also allow the viewer to quickly discover the mode and range of the data. My stem and leaf plot shows that the most frequently occurring foot length or mode of Year 5 female students is 24 centimetres, for Year 7 female students is 23 centimetres, and for both Year 5 and Year 7 males, the mode is 25 centimetres. My next step was to create double column graphs. Sadly, I had lots of issues with my column graphs. This was mainly due to not having a correct sample size distribution between boys and girls. In this case, I only had 13 males and 33 females, which caused the graph to be very lopsided and not give accurate representation of the data. Luckily for me, I had more luck with my next double column graph. This column graph is a comparison of the right foot lengths between Year 5 and Year 7 students, and it doesn't take into consideration gender. This graph shows that Year 7s have a slightly longer foot length than Year 5s, and it's a more accurate representation because the sample size is closer. Dot plots are usually an excellent way to have a first look at data. Dot plots can quickly be created by hand or by utilising ICT. Continuous data is sorted into occurrence values and are generally used to display the mode and range of the dataset. However, dot plots provide very little other information, and typically data is required to be represented in additional ways. This dot plot shows that the mode of the entire sample size is between 23 and 24 centimetres, and the range is between 16 and 29 centimetres, so 13 overall. Sector graphs are excellent ways to display how datasets are broken down into particular categories or values in this case. They are suited for use of a limited number of categories to display and are usually in the form of percentages. Sadly, in this case, there are too many different values represented in the sector graph, and it is confusing to understand and read the results, therefore not suited for my investigation. After interpreting the data in my previous graphs and plots, I used Excel formulas to determine the mean, median, mode and range of my dataset. What was my original question, you might ask? The question was, do boys and girls in Year 7 have bigger feet than boys and girls in Year 5? And do boys have bigger feet than girls? Well, the answer is yes and no. Results from my investigation show that between the school years 5 and 7, boys and girls' right foot lengths increase on average by only 1 centimetre, and that boys and girls on average have the same right foot length during these stages of development. However, the data shows that boys and girls in Year 5 have the same foot length on average, and boys and girls in Year 7 also have the same foot length in average. This investigation, even with a relatively small sample size, the results could be applied to boys and girls in Years 5 and 7 across Australia who are of a similar demographic to the sample group. However, due to the growth spurts of children predicting the same increase in foot lengths for students in the next few years to Year 9 is unreliable and should be done with caution. It is also good to remember that caution should be used if assuming that students' left feet are the same length as their right feet. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon, boys and girls.
Created using Powtoon.